In fact, another hot and humid day. Again, I mentioned this the past few days. This is more typical for this time of year in the Carolinas. So earlier this week, we had an air temperature of 100, feels like 110. Now we're looking at 92 and 95 respectively. But that does not mean that we don't take precautions. Take the hydration, take those breaks in the shade and the air conditioning. And remember, when you're walking your pets, especially dogs, their paws are extremely sensitive. The rule is you flip your hand over on the back side where the skin is a little bit thinner. That is closer to what their paws are. And if you can't hold it there for 5 to 7 seconds, it's too hot for you, it's too hot for them. Temperatures, highs across the board today were once again in the low to mid 90s. And I know we've talked about this for a few days now, but this is closer to where we should be for this time of year. So with that being said, we also see long streaks of 90 degrees this time of year as well. But this one has been a long one. In fact, it's been 10 days as of today. It's been the longest streak of 95 or 90 plus days into 2025. It was the longest actually compared to even last year. We didn't have any near 10 days, but nowhere near the longest streak the summer after I was born, 1993, 33 days in a row of 90 plus degrees. So yes, it's hot and humid, but it could certainly be worse. Now, I do think we could break the 90-degree streak early next week, but that will be because of a cold front rolling through the area. First things first, let's talk about the storms that are rolling through now. We did have this strong thunderstorm that just broke down its severe thunderstorm warning at about 6 o'clock earlier. We're still seeing some radar response potential of pea to penny-sized hail. This is on the northern side of Lake Norman near Sherrills Ford, extending upward towards Statesville and Troutman. Now, because this was essentially two storms that combined, I would watch this area, folks, for some isolated flooding risks, just because the storms are just kind of sitting over the same exact spots. Eastern side there of the lake toward Mooresville, Mount Ulla over toward Cleveland, less of a concern since a lot of that rain is light at this time. Lightning strike potential right now about 36. So if you're in this general area, don't forget, when thunder roars, move indoors. You see the lightning, you hear the thunder. It's not safe to be outside. Right now, we, of course, are seeing storms heading toward the metro of Charlotte. That's one of the reasons why the FIFA Club World Cup has been delayed at Bank of America Stadium. Threshold there is 8 miles. That is BOA's threshold. So, of course, we're continuing to keep an eye on that. But thunderstorms, nonetheless, they are not severe, but heavy rain, gusty winds, rinse, repeat. We actually have multiple outflow boundaries we're seeing on radar right now. This one near Lincolnton, this one expanding down south toward Pineville, and then you can see this one as well on the western side of York County. With those outflow boundaries we have right now, there's likely going to be additional storms that do develop. I think most of them wrap up after 11 o'clock tonight. We did see some of those storms linger last night past sunset, but because of the rain cooled air, we have a little bit less instability that is to work with today. Rinse, repeat again on Sunday, more of the same as we look ahead. In the tropics, this is the storm I alluded to. We have our second tropical depression of the year. Tropical Depression 2 just formed about an hour or so ago in the southern Gulf. It is expected to bring a lot of heavy rain, even potential for mudslides and landslides on the eastern side of Mexico later on this week. At this point, pretty low risk that it becomes a named storm. However, if it does get a name, that name would be Barry. That is the B name coming up this hurricane season. Looking at your 7-day forecast, we're going to skip ahead. Just told you the name. We are going to see isolated to scattered showers and storms over the next week. Better chance of rain midweek as we're tracking a cold front. And as of right now, we're still trending much drier behind that front with potentially little to no rain heading into Independence Day.